Aye. Here come, make I just put this pampers. Here come another anti-colonial virus presenter. You know, to know for real, you know, see, you know, chief a lineup, you know, if you come at midday, you know, after the chief is the construction and the beat goes on, you know. So, but it's we got to do for we. And as I said, my people, you know, I know that them call it coronavirus, but we call it colonial virus, blood. Deadly, deadly, deadly. And it affect even our brothers and sisters home and abroad. So rise up. I'm going to leave you in the capable land of the Prophet Maduti, Prophet Kwaku.
Tune in to Prophet Kwaku on Galaxy Radio, the only de-brainwashing station. Voodoo, voodoo.
Itepe neke J.A. Senebe. Itepe neke J.A. Senebe. Uduba phone, waiting for the universe. I'm being that we created them ourselves. Mare Nkuluku. Fami Lafa She Mungo. Onyeme. Ja. Muntu. Amenra Ashe. Onite Magba. Onita Magba. Tonomofi. Jo. Jakimba. We give thanks and praise to the creating force of the universe. We give thanks and praise to those ancestors who came before us, whose shoulders we stand upon. We rise them up to the highest heights of veneration. We give thanks to their sacrifices and those concentration camps. In the battles that we fought them, the many battles that we fought them, we never turn away. We want to rise them up every time, ancestors. So ancestors, with that in mind, watch over all of our people tuning into the show. Our brother Gebo here, the United Snakes of America. Our Rasho Singh over there in Jamaica. Our sister Shanice there over there in Africa. And our family here on this island that we reside. Watch out for all of those, Sister Sesame in Botswana. And all those people who are in Africa. Brother Garadina, the Gavito. Our brothers in eastern part of Africa. Central, west, south, north, Madagascar. All the islands of the Caribbean beyond, St. Lucia, Dominica, Carrico, Grenada, all the islands, Barbados, St. Kitts, Grenadines, anywhere with the planet of African people, rise up to we give homage and thanks. You know, this morning, family, I come in a very, very somber mood, very, very emotional mood, not emotional, emotional mood. You know, I got some news last week that my younger brother have prostate cancer. And been working with him. I took him to Brother Alkaline. And I also took him to see Brother Tamale Sally. And they've put him on treatments, you know. And why it's a emotional mood for me is because round about this time last year was my younger brother's birthday yesterday. But the 27th of this month would have been a year that we buried our oldest brother that moved on to the ancestors. So, seeing the youngest of the boy them going through this, it had a pivotal inexperience to I. But I poured my libation diligently as I do to the ancestors. I call upon the spirit of Professor Saleh. I called upon the spirit of Elder Milton Anson. I call upon the great spirit of Imhotep. And at the same time, I have a cousin who I grew with. And here my eldest brother, them was age, you know, them was like two brother. And he himself has the same kind of cancer a wriggle him body like it did my brother. And him decide say him not take no chemotherapy, cause them come tell him say, you know, them can't do nothing, there's nothing more we can do for you. We can't do nothing for you. The only thing we can give you now is the chemo. So him say, if there's nothing more you can do for me, why you want to give me that? You know, see, so him decide say him not take it. Him say him not take it. So him depend on the herbal thing. See? Him lungs them mash up. And I'm going to tell you a story about the next person I'm going to mention, because I feel it's important that these stories are told. You know, when I was growing up as a young boy, I grew up in Brixton. You know, when Brixton was a vibrant community of African people. Well, morning, noon, or night, most of the people that you saw on the roads, with the shopping or things like that, was people of African descent. A big African Caribbean community. Bajans, Jamaicans, Dominicans, St. Lucians, brothers and sisters from the continent, Nigerians, some Ghanaians. We were a vibrant community. Had a lot of businesses that was owned by black people in there. One of the first business was a man called Mr. Christie. He used to have a shop on the corner of Stratleven Road, the bottom of Stratleven Road, and Acre Lane. And he was one of the first Africans who sold yam and banana and all them things there. And I'll come back another time and speak about all those experiences. And then for many years there's a man called Cliff who has a shop just a few doors down from where Mr. Christie had his shop, who sell all kind of things, you know, yam, banana, breadfruit, all the things that we normally eat as African and African Caribbean people. But he has other things in there. It's not as cheap as Lidl, which is few shops down from him, and Tesco down the road, and the Sainsbury. He's not as cheap as those people. But he's been there over 40 years. He's been there since I was a boy. He's been there at least 50 years. And then opposite him was a brother called Bonnie. Lovely brother. At a confectionery shop. He moved on to the ancestors last week. Them say a COVID killed him. Hard working brother. And it moved me that Bonnie moved on. And imagine all this stuff is happening in 1 week. My brother diagnosed with a prostate. My cousin was sick with lung cancer. And then brother Bonnie ends up in hospital that week. And then this week, last week, he died. And that moved me, because he was a nice, he's the kind of guy I could have gone in his shop and said, boy, me not have this, you know, Bonnie, more let him come back and do him. So yeah, go on, man. And Cliff is the same. But they've known me for many years. Cliff has been there longer. But Bonnie's been there for at least 30 years. Bonnie's been there, probably more. And I heard the story of Brother Carl, who was speaking about the brother, the elder, not the brother, the elder that owns a shop in Grove Park Road there, down in Alsden. And strangely enough, I know that family personally. I know them well. I've known them for about 38 years. I know that family. Yeah. And so I know the shop. And I have family that live in Alsden. That was in Wembley, living in place. So we know the shop well. Right on the one-way system. There used to be a bookie next door to it. Remember, I used to go down as a youth man in my late teens and early 20s. You rave go down there, you gotta miss a light shop. So he's been there for over 4 decades. And we systematically see how the Asians come in and they buy up all the properties or they lease the properties, whatever the case may be, and they set up shop. And they try to undercut anything that the African is doing. And we see that on Acre Lane as well. Little they come to shut down Cliff, but Cliff is strong in there. And, you know, we should support them as much as we can. We probably can't buy everything one day, but if we're going to go buy with yam and all that thing, that's where we should go. We shouldn't be buying our yam and them thing there of people who don't even eat it. We shouldn't be doing that. If we know there's a shop where an African is and we can get it from them, we should not be doing that. Yes, I know there's occasions where, from convenience sake, if you're not living close, you do that. All right, we understand that. Because we're not malicious people, but any opportunity that we have to support our own, that's what we should do. Because most of these shops that the Asians them have are in areas where they know that we are, and their people don't come and support, don't come and buy them things, because their people don't deal with them something there. But if you go into places like Tooting, Appleton, now Wembley High Street, Southall, you see a vibrant Asian community supporting Asian business, and why should they? You don't get upset with them when they set up things for their own and they're supporting each other. What you get upset with is that we don't set up our own, and when they are there, they are struggling. So there's that dichotomy going on. And then this morning, yesterday, I got a phone call that hit me. You know what I mean? Chief, close this door here now for me now, because we can't hear your chat. Give thanks. Yeah. And this is live radio, you know. This is how Galaxy works. It's live radio. It's real. You know, we don't hide nothing. And then I got a phone call yesterday that really kind of hit me, and I'm going to tell you a story. And I gave you a brief outline of what Brixton was like at the time when I was growing up. You had the Best Bakery, which was a little small bakery in just between Plater Road, a little corner shop with only 2 people could go in there and buy bread. And they had another one inside what they call now Brixton Village. And so it was a vibrant area. We had Cynthia's Cafe. That was between Solon Road and Ballita Road. Yeah? And so we had a vibrant little, you know, thing going on in the Acre Lane area. And I don't know if anybody from the lane is listening, any of the original lane people them. But we used to call it the lane. We didn't even call it Acre Lane, we call it the lane. Yeah? And we used to congregate around there. So there was Mr. Christie's shop across the road, and then Cliff had his confectionery shop, which was a bit between Solon Road and Balletta Road, as well as Cynthia's Cafe, which was next door. Yeah. And then you had the little De Best, and you had Mr. McDonald's car hire, and then you had Mr. Christie across the road. And then then on Kepler Road, you had Mr. Michael's shop, which had another corner shop selling confectionery. So you had these little different businesses in that little region. And then when you got down in Brixton now, it was all different. Going in Brixton was quite exciting, to be quite honest. And so as a young boy growing up in that area, I was surrounded by a wealth of an African feeling community. And then on Plater Road, we had Sergeant's mechanic shop. Can't forget Sergeant. In gone to the ancestors. Muduba for Sergeant. And so it was quite vibrant. You had crime. There's a lot of crime, I must say. Juggling, going about the place, and school and thing. And then up Stratleman Road. When you go to the Stratleman Road and turn right, they had the drinks factory, and then Ventura Place. You had the cake factory. You understand me? And then you always had Sunlight Cleaning, which is still there on the left hand side of Acre Lane if you're coming up from Brixton, where they did all the Sunlight Cleaning and thing. And then on the corner of Bedford Road and Acre Lane, there was a car showroom that was actually owned by a black man at that time, and he sold high-class cars, Jags and all them kind of car there. So we had a vibrant little community, Agerig Road and things like that, and that type of stuff. So I had a lot of friends, some of my relatives lived near, they visited quite frequently, even the one who's sick now. So I got through my schooling, my primary school and them thing there. And then what happened was that when it was time to go secondary, I was a bit of a lad at primary school. Got in a lot of trouble with teachers, and that's a whole nother story to tell at another time. But for the basis of what I want to share with you this morning was that when it was time for me to go secondary school now, there were several schools in our area, and I will name them. There was Henry Thornton, there was Stockwell Manor, there was Tulsil Boys, there was William Penn, there was Borfoy, which is in Kennington, and then there was Kennington Boys. Those were kind of the main schools, and there was Borfoy. Those are kind of main schools in and around the Brixton, Stockwell, Kennington area, and Clapham that I could have gone to. So a lot of my friends went to either of those schools. But my mother decided that she now send me to none of them. And her thing, you have too much friend. Me now send you there. And she sent me to a school in West Dulwich, where I knew nobody. I went to this school and I knew no one. Literally no one. But what I didn't know at the time, there was a sister that was she was like in the 4th year, 5th year, something like that. That it was my friend's sister, but I didn't know she went to that school. I never saw her. Never saw her till, I think it was months after me being at the school. That it was in the bigger year. And so I go to the school now, and I don't know nobody. So you know what that... And then the school was predominantly white. So like the higher years, it was mainly white people then. 5th, 4th, the 5th and the 4th year, and the 3rd year. But the 1st and 2nd year was a high portion of Africans in that year. But the school was predominantly white. I'll tell the story about that another time. So I had a lot. I started to have a lot of fights because you have to set your presidents. Man, I got quite try to test you. Some people come with them friend them for them primary school and things like that, and you one day, you have to defend up certain things. A man tells you have to fight, But in all of that, 2 men befriended me like big brothers. And there was a brother in the year above me and a brother that was 2 years above that. And I'm going to name them brother there. Because them man there, this particular brother, just, I don't know what it was. Him just did like me as a little, he just treated me like a little brother. And every day I come to school, he ask me if me alright, me need money for lunch, and he would buy me lunch and give me 10 pence, 20 pence, sometimes I'll 30 pence. Him and his other brethren, they just took me like a little brother. They just looked after me. You understand what I'm saying to people? I didn't know this brother from nowhere. This brother just looked after me, and another brother 2 years above him. When I had a fight with a white boy, it was 2 years above me. I had a fight with a white boy. At first I learn about financial index and e-commerce. When a white boy come to me and says, "Where's your tax?" I don't know what I talk about. I'm 11. He talk about tax. He goes, "Your tax," I'm putting money in my pocket. I'm going to buck him. And me and him start a fight. Right? But the helpers them was watching, but them never do nothing. When it look like him, I get the better of me. But my second oldest brother taught me how to fight himself. You fight a man taller than you, always bring him to the ground. Because when you bring him to the ground, your name is on the same level. So I lift up the boy and drop him on the ground. And when me dip on top of him now, that's when the helper them come and drag me and fight him. That's another story. And this other brother, this is how I got to know the second brother now, Johnny Walker. I feel big up them man there. Came and pull over the woman them. I said, "Come youth." And them drag me away. And the man they start look after me. But before that time with Johnny, this particular brother who took me as his younger brother, just looked after me. Just made sure that I was alright. Dennis Chambers. I want you to remember these two men, them name. Dennis Chambers and Johnny Walker. You see them man there? I love them. Because as a little boy, in a school where I knew nobody, and I had to fight, and them man there took me under them wing as a little brother. And Dennis in particular looked after me, made sure I was alright, made sure nobody in the higher year them could trouble me. Because you have some man them would have tried bully you as a little youth. And even though you have to try it, but you're you, and you can't do nothing. But them man they would stand firm. Dennis Chambers. You're probably wondering, why is the prophet telling you this story? Because I want you to know that you must never forget the good that people do for you. And sometimes, because we have been torn apart, especially those of us who are the children of the kidnapped people, ripped away from our families, ripped away from our mothers and our fathers and our sisters and brothers and cousins and uncles and grandparents and so forth, and sent to different, I'm not taking no cards right now, please just hold on, I'm not taking no cards right now, and sent to different parts of the world. But you know what? That spiritual connection of family is still there, you know. Don't you ever notice that sometimes you meet somebody, you've only just known them a short time, but you feel so like you know them the whole of your life, and you've become so tight that sometimes you yourself can't even explain, oh, me and this person so nice. Sometimes those people and you are closer than even the family that you come out of the same womb with. Remember me tell you. and see this brother Dennis Chambers. Because sometimes you got to tell the stories of heroes and heroines in our community that nobody don't know about them. Them are the real celebrity. Because if it wasn't for them man there, and even some of the sister in them too, the prophet wouldn't be here chatting to you upon radio. I take no credit for who I am from myself. I'm the totality of my experience, be they good or bad, and the connection with people them that came in me. I'm all of that. And so Dennis looked after me at school, and then I found my own foot, and then, the rest is, I'd have to do a long thing on myself. But over the years, we get older, and you go your separate ways, you're doing your things, everybody. But we still saw each other. We see each other in the dance, because we all back them day, most of us, we all like the same music, we all went to the same club, a bit like the children them now. Yeah? Yeah? Some of us see them man their clothes, settlement, yeah? You see them man their Safrana B, yeah, Ital Rockers, the Whole, and some of the Shubi in them, you go in a Villa Road and all them place there, some of the rave them on the front line, you see them. And what was interesting, because they lived one side of Brixton and I lived the other side of Brixton, but I didn't know them. And this is how we expanded our friendship and the community. So where my mother sent me to school, because she said me have too much friends, all that done was expand my friendship. So a lot of my close friends, they came from Dulwich, yeah, Peckham, you understand, West Norwood, West Dulwich, you understand me? Brixton, Kennington, and all them places there. Because my friends them that went to those various schools, they made friends, them introduced friends, and we just became a big happy. That's why when them start them rubbish in 1981, we were all fighting together against the wicked. And I even saw Dennis in that. He got married and everything like that. He was a painter and decorator for many years. And I followed in the suit of him, but I didn't even know that he was doing that as well. You understand? But we still saw each other, and big respect and love. And I'm going to tell you the irony of this story. When my first two children them went to school, my first two children them are 38 now. When they went to primary school, their best friend at primary school was his niece. Yeah, them best friend, but me never know say she was the sister. I know the sister older than we, but me never know she. It's one day when I go to I see her. And then I see the sister when I pick up my youth them from school and realize, boy, I Dennis niece that. And then my third daughter, when she was going secondary school now, that female niece now, son and she was in the same class. You look at that. How ironic is that? So it's like the connection just dead. Anyway, he decided to stop being, he never want to do the whole painting and decorating thing again. And he went and did the knowledge. If people don't know what the knowledge is something that you have to do to drive a black taxi. And as you know, there weren't many black taxi drivers back in even the 90s. It's only just now you see enough of them. And that took him about 5-6 years for do. Because obviously, man have to work on the certain things. Some people, they can do it in 3 years, some's done it just under 3. But it's normally a 3 years thing. They even make a drama about it on television. And he passed, and I remember when he passed, him called me and said, boy, Kwaku, me get my badge, you know, me get my badge. I said, yeah, we celebrate and things like that, you know. And he did that. I think he drove the taxi for about 6 years. 6 or 7 years, something like that. And then I didn't hear from him for a while, and one day I got a phone call from him. But when I got the phone call, he was talking slurry. And I said, what? Then this one said, well, I remember a stroke, you know. And he had this thing happen. He went work the day. And I said, I never feel too good in the morning and get up. I'm still got to work. And him do a job and him end up over like Bayswater them side there, over Shepherd's Bush. And him say, sit down. Him feel a bit funny and him pull over and him sit down. And him never feel good. And then him say, a job come, but the job was to come back assault. So him say, him take the job now and decide, so when him drop the person home, he might go, just go home because him not feel good. And him drop the person off and him go me and so when he reach him going him out, him feel like him not feel good, him lose lots of balance. Anyway, his wife called ambulance. And he had a stroke. And them don't know, and them say, because them can tell when him have the stroke, you know. And him have the stroke when him pull over, it's a stroke him have, you know. But he managed to drive. Them don't know how he managed to drive himself home. Drop the passenger off and then make his way back home yard. But that was the end of his career as a taxi driver. And so I went and visit him, and I'd go and visit him, bring him some herbs and them thing there. But he still had the use of his two hand, and he still could walk. But he had just had a slur. His face never lean. Him just had a slurred speech. So I would go and look for him, and me and my other brethren, Floyd Blackwood, went and looked for him. You know what I mean? And then we bring one of his best friends who was at secondary school with him, my brother called Dharma. For go look for him. And obviously you know that through, you know, doing all the different things as you know that I do. Didn't go and see him that often, but we talked to him on the phone. And then the next time I go look for him, he had another stroke. So he had 2 strokes. And that one leaned him up. You understand me? So I'd found him every now and then, and on the past run, and I found him every now and then. And to be honest, people, I didn't go and visit him as much as I should have visited him. And this is what happened when you're in a Babylon. And you got so many, you got your children, you got the show that I'm doing here, the school, projects, looking out for my mother, the illness, my brother and them things. Even when my brother died, he called me up and things like that and rated him, said, would I come? But, you know, I said, don't worry about that, Dennis. The fact that you call me. So, you know. So anyway, I spoke to him about a month ago. Yeah, just a few weeks ago, I called him. And in fact, I called him twice. You know, check in, I check in, but him say, yeah, I'm all right and everything. Anyway, I get a call yesterday. And it was from him. And him called me. You know the first thing him said? Him asked me how me is, how my family is, and if me all right. He still had that brotherly love for me, you know what I mean? And then I asked him how he was. And he said, boy, I mean, I have no good news for you, know, Kwaku. But me have liver cancer. I was driving when he told me this, and I had to pull over the van. I said, liver cancer? I mean, he said, yeah. I'm flying out this week. And people, my whole evening changed. And I said to him, I can't come and look for you now, because I was doing a little works. And I know that I'm going to be in the show today, but I said, I'll come and look for you Tuesday. because I believe it was my brethren Everton's dad's funeral Monday, but it ain't, so I'm going to go and look for him tomorrow. And when he told me that, everything that happened when I was a child came flashing to the front of my brain. All that he done for me, I never forget it. And I come here this morning to say to you, my people, if there's anybody that you remember from them that do you good and you ain't seen them for, go look for them. Sister Ayesif, I said I'm going to come and look for you. I'm going to come. Elder Beckford, you called me, you summons me, I'm coming. Even if it's 5 minutes, may I come for you. May I come. When the show done, Elder Beckford, may I come. I'm going to go and look for Mama Icing first, then I'm going to come to you, and then may I go my mother. In a that the order. You understand me? Because we don't know how long we got in. And one of the things I was talking to the miss about, I was vexed. Because I know this brother's a man that only do good, you know. Him no thief, him no rob nobody. He's one of them man that he's like Brother Delani. Them man that if you are Brother Kwame, them a man that if you ask them man to do anything, if them man that tell you so them can't, it's because them can't physically do it. There's no way them can moon over themselves to help you. Brother Kwame from this station, who had his show on a Monday. I've known him for about 30 years. And he's always been that kind of guy in the Pan-Africanist movement. The PSCM. He was the man that run around for everybody. You name the scholar that come here, Kwame, pick them up from airport, drive them all over the place. From Mr. Smalls to Leonard Jeffries, Baba Kunto, yeah, to Dr. Ben, to Dr. Clark. Kwame, who you see on the station, yeah, carried all of them. I never took a penny. Kwame was the kind of brother that I could call as a Kwame. I need, when I wasn't driving and I need, me have jabbed them for do over all up North London. And all them place there. Kwame come pick up my tools. I'm going to drop my tools there. And I'm going to drive there. So I don't forget the good that people do for me. But this brother Dennis Chamber, when I heard that, I said, nah, man. Mr. Life too cruel. It's like just the good people, them not hang about. And I heard, and it's funny because I heard somebody say that in Dr. Abu's show before. So you see, when the chief was saying, oh, the spirit move. Because Dr. Abu never knew I was going to say what I was going to say now. Yet in Theme Show, somebody mentioned that. I know there's enough times we come on here and we talk about things. The virus is something we must keep talking about, and there are things we must keep. But sometimes we got to tell our stories. And the stories of good people that we personally know. I heard, I think it was Brother Akram speaking about our ancestor Elijah Muhammad. Yeah? And that's good. And our elder ancestor Marcus Messiah Garvin, all those things are good. But we did not know them. No disrespect. We know of their works and what they did for our people, and we are appreciative loved of that. But how many people in our community that we grow with, that we know, that do good things, and we not talk about them? So I'm making you know about two people in the history of my life that had an impact on me, that helped me to steer me. And I know somebody said, did it? I have told them. I wait for them for dead for me for tell them. I told them many years ago, I love them, brother. Johnny Walker and Dennis Chambers. Know this to the rest of the man them I knew and I grew with. But you see, when it come to man who looked out for me as a youth coming into an environment that was quite hostile from the teacher. Protect me from our teacher. Get in trouble and protect me from teacher. May I tell you? Them man there. You understand what I'm saying? So when the man call me and to think the man call me and ask me, oh me, is, and make sure you're alright and look after yourself, you know. Still at that, even in his illness, he still has that big brother attitude towards me. And I love him for that. I was with my little brother, bringing him to get some herbs and things that to help him with him prostrate. I go look for my cousin. I have to deal with youth them. I have to do a little hustling. And so I didn't come to the show and did my show Thursday gone. We played a repeat of Brother Stafford. And I now know why, because I just felt funny Thursday. I just didn't feel like doing the show. I didn't have something was wrong and I didn't know what it was. I even said to Missy, I said, something wrong. She goes, I said, nah, man, I just don't feel like, I didn't have it in me. It wasn't energy, I wasn't tired. I just didn't want to do the show. No, me know why. Because my brother, them was sick. And I'm telling you, man, it's like the wicked people. I mean, know some wicked people out there, you know, and them just live, chief. Them live nice, you know, and people will do good, or suffer. And with all that's going on, man, I feel the energy, family. The man called me, you know. So he must suffer 2 stroke. And then now he must liver cancer on top of it. And he must ask me and tell me, still have that. That's exact. My oldest brother, that was the exact same thing when my oldest brother was dying, you know. Or the cancer, you know. He said, make sure you go check yourself, you know, quick. Go and go get checked up. Come on, why nothing happen to you. So even in his illness and facing the ship to travel on the other side, he still had that big brother attitude to all of us. Yes. These are our heroes. I love Marcus. I love Marcus and all them man there, but I never know them. Yes. I knew Dr. Ben personally. I met Leonard Jeffries. I knew Brother Ishaka Musha Barashango because I met them. But the rest, I didn't know them. I never know Ivan Van Sertima. I met Dr. Clark. I met Dr. John Henrik Clark in where the place that Stafford was telling us about the other day, Broadwater Farm. I actually held and met Dr. John Henrik Clark when he came and gave a lecture in Broadwater Farm. So I knew those people. But a lot of the other people them we're talking about, I never knew them. And we got our own heroes in our community. Like the brethren Bonnie, who have that confectionery shop on Acre Lane, who's moved on to the ancestors as well. This week. Brother Elder Cliff, who's got his shop there, been there for how many years? And Elder lied in our halls then. These are heroes in our community. These are people that provided something for us. But we have no loyalty to those who's made sacrifices to provide something for us. And their children, the children of these people, them, I don't even know if them are listen, but if you not listen, you know, have a milestone to follow. And not take where them work for, we're getting white people. Remember me tell you. So I'm making it my point. Me now wait for my brother Dennis to move on. My cousin Milton. Yeah. My younger brother Johnny Walker.
Someone's asking, how old is your brother? Someone's asking.
He's 50. So he was 2 years above me in school, I think. Yeah. So he would be like 60, touching 60. Yeah, he'd be touching 60. My oldest brother was 67 when he died. My youngest brother was 56 yesterday. Yeah, my cousin he's 68. You understand? Johnny, no, we're about 62 now. Johnny Walker, sure about 62, 63. Because he was a few years above me. You understand? So me now, so people will know, if people, you know these individuals. Dennis Chambers we went to Kingsdale, me, Dennis, and Johnny, Ralph Daly went there, Patrick Bunting. These are quite prominent names in our community. You understand? And that had a lot of an impact on my life.
Have you been to school since? The school changed up now?
Yeah, I've been there. I went and gave a lecture there when I was about 22.
Change up now?
I'm a black headmaster for the day now. Yeah. You understand? Major impact on my life. A lot of these man them. And I remember one day, I rang Ralph, I rang Ralph. I ain't seen him for years. And I bucked him up in Brixton a few months back. And I got his number and I rang him. And we was on the phone for about an hour. Because he had an impact on my life. As well. So, and I might have had an impact on people's lives. And this is how we do it. But we don't talk about our heroes in our media heroes in our communities.
In this type of liberty, you have to talk.
You understand? Because we are the ones who's bringing the messages of those great people. You understand? Dr. Femi Biko, Pepper Kai, and all them man, the Elder Bini. These people, they might not be perfect. None of us is. We all got our thing. But we must talk about them. Because they're the ones that made us know about these people. You understand what I'm saying? We have got our own heroes here in Britain. Who fight for our cause. Day in, day out. And we don't know that these people are fighting for us. But them they're there. Just like what Dr. Abba was talking about, and you lot was talking about in terms of, mother for cook two pot in Jamaica, and that old prejudice that we went. Because I remember when I was a youth growing up, my cousin Milton, he was the first to locks, in our family, Yeah. Him Russ up first, and then him all our brother Russ after him. Trevor. Yeah? And some of the Russ them know my older cousin Trevor. Yeah? And him Russ up. But him take the Russ that thing serious. Trevor they take the Russ that thing serious. Whereas in Skelly him ease off and moving a different farm. But them man there and my brother Randall is man them that I look up to.
Yes.
But them man I talk about Black Panther Party, and them man them I make with them a sound and the music that them they play. Yeah, yes. Burning Spear and all them man there. You see me I deal with?
Make us start to think.
Yeah. These are the real heroes in our community. And my aunt Babsy and my mother, You know what I mean? And my grandaunt, we used to call Aunt Clara, we used to call her, affectionately call her mother. That was everybody call her, we just call her mother, my grandmother's sister. You understand me? These are the real heroes in our community. Nobody not, and I'm talking to all of the African out there who have those grandmothers and those uncles and aunts that was there that showed us the way. Yes, we did have some no good Peter Philip, bad mind, wicked one them too. We not tell a lie about that either. But we are a damaged people. We must remember how we arrived where we are. We never come over here as guests. We come here as enslaved Africans, kidnapped people. So we don't know. We could be family. Me and the chief and Dr. Abu, we could be family. Distant family. We don't know. Because when them kidnapped with themselves, we are about the flipping place. And that's why, as I said, chief, there's some people you meet in your life. You just meet them the other day and you just don't know, oh, you and them just so tight. You can't figure it out. But that's the ancestral lineage. So even though they severed us physically, spiritually, we were still connected.
The DNA is there, brethren. You can't hide it. DNA have got feelings, you know.
Yeah.
DNA can talk.
DNA have feelings, yes. You understand me? Look how we follow in a galaxy big time. Gone for my sojourn. Gone on this radio station, that radio station, and about turn and me back home.
Yes.
So what the enemy has severed, the ancestors repair.
Very much so.
That's part of the reparations.
Very much so, family.
We got to repair it. We don't all agree. We see things from sometimes a different aspect, a different avenue, but we want all the same thing. You understand me? So I'm making people know about Dennis Chambers. I'll be going to look for him tomorrow. Show some libation for him.
Remember the name.
Dennis Chambers. Show libation for my brother David. My cousin Milton. Because they're ill at the moment. Their bodies is not in sync. Cancer, they hold them. And while we're sitting down, they're talking about COVID. While they're talking about how they get this fight, how much years they might do what them do, and them can't find a cure for cancer. With all the billions of dollars and sterling and francs and the stealing of our resources, they've plowed into this. Oh, them can't find a cure. Or is it they don't want to find a cure? But them like to give you treatment. Treatment is not a cure.
Not at all.
You understand me? So I just wanted to share that with the family this morning, because I thought it was important that you know a little bit about me, about where I come from, and who inspired me. And Dennis inspired me. Johnny inspired me. And there were many more. Michael Clark, he's dead and gone to the ancestors, inspired me. A lot of our friends from school has passed on. I remember them. Sandra Buck, I remember them. Sylvia Chiappa, I remember them. We were friends. And their stories are not told. We come here, we talk about all these great scholars, which we should, but we never talk about the people them that actually affected us right where we're there in our lives. And it's traditional African oratory practice to speak about those that came before you, as well as paying homage to our greats.
We will never forget them. No.
We never forget them. Because of them is why we're here. They came to this country, you know. When they come to this country in the 50s and the 60s, en masse, you know, They came to hostile territory.
Very much so. Yeah.
Make no beans about that, But they fought. I heard Dr. Abu mention a man called Thistlewood this morning, who was a slaver. Huh?
Was it Robert? Is it Robert Thistlewood?
Yeah, I can't remember the full name, but I know the Thistlewood.
Yeah.
Who was, and why that man is famous is because he kept a diary of all the wickedness that he did
The slaves, yes.
to the Africans he had as slaves.
It's a shooting at slave mode.
And he kept a prolific diary about everything that he did to them. He abused them in every which way that you could. He never liked white woman. He would rape up the black woman them. And he did even breed one of them. Another a mixed race son who was worthless, apparently. Him sell him on and all kind of something. And I heard Dr. Abu mention that man this morning. That devil who engaged in the enslavement of our people. And strangely enough, if you go and do some research, even Kodjo worked with him, That Kodjo there was a traitor. He would pay them, employ Kodjo them to run and hunt Africans that went away. You understand? It's a man like Taki now. Them man there. Look for tear on them man, the thing there. You understand me? So I just wanted to share that with you. So here's the thing now. We got 40 minutes. And all I want you to do, whether you're an elder, whether you're my peer or younger, is to call and tell me something about some African in your community that you know. And nobody don't know who this person is that has done good for you. That's what I'm talking about this morning. I'm giving this part of it to those people because they deserve to be known. If we talk about them, if them dead and gone, that's one thing. But if them not dead, we could revere them now.
I'm not even going to touch on it, because what I was going to say
Go on, Chief. Go on, Chief.
I have a little bit of my my text. The question I was going to ask to my listeners: what have you done for self? What have you was a question I was going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
But you have now, in another form, I've asked the same question: what have you done? And I can bring my book and show you where I've got your name. I said, Brother Kwaku speak a lot about the work that he's doing with the Saturday School, the work he's doing in Ghana. I have Sister Shanice is over there in the Gambia. We know Brother Akram and many others who we can call by name who are doing something. And I said, I myself, we have said so much and said so little. I myself was working with 2 schools in Sierra Leone. A member of a disabled organization that I'm working with. And I said to myself, I'm going to ask our listeners, tell us what you have been doing for the development of self as African. You see how this has now come?
This is how it's all come.
You see how this has now come? You see how we are working in unison, my brother? We are working in such a... And this was when I sat in my bathroom this morning. This was the vibration that came to me. And now here you are. I now isolate the negative and bringing in the positive. Because we need to bring the positive in to show that here we are as one-to-one living in this time, and we don't give the accolade that we should be giving to those who are working around us and helping and assisting others. You're now doing it. And I heard, and that's why I walk inside here and smile.
See.
You touch on something that I was going to talk about.
But that's how the energy works. That's how the energy works. We don't. I remember the first African Caribbean center for elders to play dominoes and then plays is a man called God, him name the on the tip of my tongue.
Rosie Brixton?
Yeah.
On Welton Road?
On Welton Road, yeah.
Welton Road. Yes,
Yeah.
I know you're talking.
You know what I'm talking,
I know
innit?
you're talking.
Yeah.
You used to have a solicitor's office.
Yeah. No, it's further up Rayton Road, probably with virtually opposite Chaucer Road. So you pass Barnwell Road,
Yes.
Efra Road, and then Chaucer
I know
Road.
who you're talking, Brethren.
Yeah.
I know the brother you're talking.
So, I'm dead now. 'Cause I went to school with his son. His son is older than me, Errol.
Okay, yes.
I went to school with his son. His son went to Kingsdale as well. Yeah?
Right.
And the council destroyed him.
Yes.
The government came and destroyed. He was the first. Oh, God, wait a name again. It's in my head now.
I know who you're talking, Brethren. Because I remember where the place was, and that's what I'm telling you, it's
Yeah.
Welton Road. I
Yeah.
can't remember any either.
And that was in the eye of when the line was about.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, and he set up that, and then he had a place behind the Marleys that was a hall that we could use. What's his name again? Oh man, somebody, I know a Galaxy person would ring. Is gonna ring and tell me. It's just my memory's gone with certain things, right? But they destroyed him and took away everything. Yeah, and now there's a old people's home that they have on the corner of Dalberg Road and Barnwell Road. Yeah, and that's the remnants of that thing that he set up for our people.
Yes.
What's his name again?
So it will come because I can't remember him either.
Oh man.
I've been to see the brother. Talk to the brother.
Yeah.
The brother used to give advice.
I'm dead now.
Yes.
I'm dead now. Yeah.
You have a call coming up. You have a call coming up. He used to have an advice center. I can't remember his name, Brethren.
God,
You know what I mean? But I'm sure there are others out there will be able to refresh our memory.
Otep, brother Gabe.
What's up, my brother?
Give thanks.
Otep, give thanks for the call, my brother.
Thanks.
Yeah, listen, the minute you began to talk, before you landed, I said, okay, brother went to Kingsdale. Because I had, and by the way, I know Dennis Chambers, and I know Ralph, and I don't know if you remember Patrick Augustus, who was at Kingsdale also.
Yeah. Patrick. In fact, Patrick Augustus, he supports a school in the Gambia.
Yes.
Yeah. And Patrick Augustus was below me in school.
Okay.
He was Patrick was a year below me in a school, and his sister was above me. So I know Patrick well. In fact, Patrick's children's mother launched a book yesterday on Zoom. She wrote a book. I'm gonna interview her. Sandra.
I must know Sandra.
Sandra Moody.
I must know her.
So wait, Geb, hold on. You did live here?
Yeah, man. That West Norwood me come from, big man.
Oh, so you know Rocky and all them man there.
Some of the names you're calling,
You know Floyd. You know the Blackwoods, innit? If you didn't live at West Norwood, there's two set of family you must know: the Williams, Rocky Williams, them family, the Blackwoods and the Jacksons, Leroy Jackson, Donald Jackson, Earl Jackson.
I have to know them. But I left when I was 12, and then came back in '93, and then left again in 2007. And came back to the States in 2007. So you know, the school I went to William Penn.
Oh, you went William Penn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a few brethren that went William Penn as well, you know. Yeah, I had a few brethren that went William Penn as well.
So the minute you started talking, I knew Kingsdale was a school you was referencing. But you know, but before I give a comment, brother, you know, I really thought it was interesting how the ancestors yesterday dispatched the two of us together to call the show together.
Yes, brother Gege's Ole Gege show, yeah.
Yeah, I you know, that was, it's interesting how the ancestors work. But I want to stay exactly where you are. So, you know, listen, when I was growing up, I grew up in a house that was absolutely divided. So my mother, who loved us dearly, who I loved dearly, who we buried last year, the system had her divided against her children. She believed exactly what the system told her about black people. That was the time of the sus law.
Yeah. We all went through that.
Yeah, and so I have a brother who did time on many occasions, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be the man I am today. Now, my brother is the best philosopher I know. He's the kindest man I know.
Ashe.
He told me he would never, as long as he lives, works for a white man. And as long as I've known him, he's never worked for a white man.
You know, strange you should say that, Brother Geb. You see, my cousin who's got the lung cancer at the moment, he said the same thing, until this day. And I'm 68 now. I've never worked for a white. In fact, never worked for nobody. Always work for himself.
Right. So who made me who I am today, brother? Other than the ancestors to live within, definitely my brother Louis. Some people call him Danny. Put me on the path that I am and that I've remained on since I was 4 years old.
Ashe, big him up, man.
So I just wanted to join in and give homage to him.
Yeah, give thanks for that, brother. Give thanks for that. But yeah, Dennis, man.
And by the way, I'm still waiting on your call, brother.
Brother, you're gonna get. I'll tell you what. I go when I'm going around to Elder Ison. As soon as I done the show, I'll give a call on the whatever. Yeah.
Sure. All right.
Yeah, give thanks for that, brother. Gabe.
All right, brother.
Okay. Now people. The spirit moves in a mysterious way. The ancestors move, because I just took a liking to this brother Geb when I used to hear him calling Galaxy. I didn't know him, but then the spirit told me not to call him what they were calling him, and so I called him brother Geb. And here am I talking about a story in my lineage, in my lifespan, and he knows exactly who I'm talking about. Now, how amazing is that? We give salutation and honor always to the ancestors. And if you want to call in people and you want to speak like Brother Ged has just spoken about his brother, Danny, who inspired him to be the man he is today. We take no credit for who we are. We give all the credit to those that help mold us to who we are. Whether those people did us bad things or whether they did us good things, whatever they did to us, it molded us to who we are today. And we honor them ever, 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 ever. You understand me? So you want to call in, the number is, if you're abroad, +44. Drop the 0. 0207 193 0174. That's +44 0207 193 0174. Pay homage unto somebody in your life, somebody that had an effect. It could be small. Let us hear your story. That's what I want to talk about for the next 27 minutes that we have left before Chief comes on, and continue what we're dealing with, because he's got something he was going to do, and I've just like Dr. Abu did something, and I've just continued it, and I saw where I move. If you want to say, if you're shy that you don't want to call in and you'd rather send in a text or a WhatsApp, you can do that on +44 and you drop the 0 after if you're abroad. 073 77 92 0703. That's +44. Drop the next 0. 073 77 92 0703. Because I'm sure that every one of us as somebody or some persons who had an impact on her life. You know, my mother always told me about her grandmother, which would be my great-grandmother. And now she had an impact on my mum's life, you know. And my mum always told me the story about my great-grandmother. Otep caller, tell us your name and where you're calling from. Otep?
Great uprisings, my brother. Sister Angie here.
Oh, Sister Angie, welcome, Sister Angie.
Greetings, my brother. How are you?
My sister, you know what? Now that I've let it out, I feel a bit better.
Good.
But, you know, that guy, that brother there was, you know, he never had to do what he did. And I'm sure he did it to other people too. But he just looked after me. I remember when I went and saw him once, you know, and I said to him, why did you, Dennis, why did you just take me and go, boy, I'm an annoying, quick, but me to just like you. It's like me little brother, me to just like you. Now, how is that? Eh? How is that?
You know, I want to say thank you to the brother. I want to say thank you to our ancestors. And I want to say thank you for sharing today with us. Because when you mentioned Johnny Walker, I had an energy that just went through my body. Because, you know, we're coming from the same era.
Yes,
and
yes.
we know a lot of the same people who cross paths.
Yes.
When you mentioned Johnny, I was like, whoa, I remember Johnny. And I started to get a little excitement, you know, because the memories went back to Shakespeare Road, Railton Road.
Yeah, but Johnny lived Railton Road, still there till today.
Really?
Johnny Walker is still there till today.
Wow. Because we went, you know...
I never get through run them out of Brixton.
Wow. And those were some really beautiful times my childhood.
And interestingly enough, Sister Angie, sorry for cutting you, our connection is very much like that. Because remember, you know, your first cousin is like my big brother. Him and my big brother, they were best friends, Tedious.
That's right. That's right.
Look at that.
And I loved your brother. I loved
And look how you knew my brother and we never knew each other. Look at that.
That's right. That's right. And I held him in high esteem, you know.
Just like our old Tedious in high esteem. Those men are my influence.
Even at your father's celebration, that was the first time I'd seen him for a long time. And my last memory of him, we stood in the back room, you know, the back side, hall, and we was on the wall, just leaning up, and we were just talking for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, my brother could have talked, man. I miss him.
That's my last memory of him. Yeah, loved Randall, rise him up. But yeah, so today, going back to Railton Road days, my school days. So I lost a sister. My sister Helen, at the age of 8, she, you remember the shop on, Shakespeare Road, and it crosses over Railton Road and continues down onto Loughborough.
Yeah.
So you remember there was that shop there, the Grahams.
On the right hand side.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a Rastaman control that now.
Oh, okay. So my sister, back in them days, our parents used to go to work, and I'm going to share something that, in terms of why I don't vote, it's a psychological thing for me. So, they used to close the school for voting day, polling day. So in 1971, we were at home, and our parents didn't have the privilege of having carers leave where they could have a day off from work.
Yes, true.
To stay. So a lot of us used to be at home on our own, back in them days. And my sister went to the shop and got run over at the end of Shakespeare Road. Yeah, and died.
Which end? The Norwood Road end or
the Realton
Road end? Oh,
so, yeah. So we used to live at 25 Shakespeare Road.
So you know the Stewarts then?
Say that again?
You know the Stewarts?
Yes. Yeah.
You know the Harrises?
Say that again?
You know the Harrises?
Harris. Give me the first one of the names.
Yvonne
Harris?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, brother.
You should know them.
Sometimes.
Am I people them that, man? Am I Mrs. people them that?
Really, look at that. So it's funny, So obviously my sister, she passed. I was 9, she was 8. And my brother was 4. And, my sister at that time, I don't know. My mom said she was only here for a short time. And, but my sister had a big impact, not just her 8 years, but her passing.
Yeah.
Because at that time, I took on her death because as an older child, by default, we had a lot of responsibility. Anything our parents used to say, you are the elder child, you should set the example. So, we just naturally took that on. So when my sister passed, it impacted on me. In fact, I didn't really deal with it until I was in my 30s.
Wow.
Psychologically, I took on the kind of blame because as the older child, because after my sister passed, we had no counselling. We had no, the
thing they never exist. Them there.
No, never. We just carried on, and I remember my mum just carried on, and then 6 years later, my father passed. My dad was a very influential man in my life. I came from a very wholesome, loving environment. And I'm so grateful for my parents and my sister that passed on, Sister Helen, she left a mark. So I want to rise up. And there's many people along my journey, good and bad, experiences as we're growing and developing, that had an impact, little things like your friends doing certain things that say if you go on with that, what's going to happen, but they were still your friends. And you knew what road not to go down.
Truly.
So they taught me something as well, and also some of those of my friends that didn't have the loving, wholesome environment that I came from, they also taught me to appreciate what I have and what I had, So I'm so grateful that you brought this up and you gave us the opportunity to acknowledge, because we talk about a lot of things and we have to talk. It's good to talk.
Yes,
and,
we do, yes.
Current affairs and so on. But sometimes we get consumed by what is happening and we lose our focus unknowingly sometimes,
Truly,
to be reminded, to remember those that from the past and our present that are impacting on our journey while we honor those that have paved the way. It's so important to keep us present and aware, and to be grateful. So rise up yourself, my brother, and thank you for the opportunity. And, we give thanks to Brother Dennis, and under the circumstances, but, they say everything happens for a wise purpose, and that sometimes it takes situations for us to be reminded of where we are. And how important time is. So thank you and give thanks.
Give thanks, Sister Angie. May the ancestors and praying force of the universe watch over you, your family, and all the things that you are doing, Sister Angie, in Africa and for our people. Because Sister Angie, she has something that she's doing now. There's somebody else on the line?
Prophet Kwaku.
Yes, Brother Gabe.
Do you remember Tony Hansen and Patrick Gale?
Yes.
You remember them names?
Yeah, I know them.
All right.
I know them.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're very connected, more than we thought. My brother.
But you don't remember me. You and I have met, brother. Trust me.
Yeah, I can't remember your brother Gabe.
Yeah, no, we met back in the days of You remember Commissioner?
Yes, the DJ there, Commissioner.
Yeah, back around those days. And what's that brother's name? Dr. X.
Yes. Well, I know Dr. X well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had him in. I've had him in the studio a few times. I'm going to bring him back again, to be quite honest.
Right.
I got some text here. It says, "What is the shop's name?" I don't. The shop used to be called the Cost Cutter. If it's Cliff shop you're talking about, and Bonnie's shop used to be called. I think it used to be called Bonnie's. To be quite honest. Yeah. So you can't miss them on Acre Lane. You got Acre Lane. If you're coming up Acre Lane from Brixton, you pass the Liddell, you pass Tesco's, you pass the Liddell, you pass Branson Road, and when you pass Branson Road, the next shop that sells confectionery and all that type of stuff and yam and thing is Cliff shop. If you're going there and you see Cliff, tell him that the Prophet Kwaku told you to come in there. Yeah? And then Bonnie shop is a shop virtually opposite him. There's an Indian man that come and set up next door selling stuff, and black people going there, they're so stupid that doesn't get them, because between Cliff and Bonnie, you can buy whatever you want from them. You understand me? And then you got a bakery that's next door to Cliff, and then you got Flavors Takeaway. You know what I mean? And those are all black shops along there. And then you have New Things on opposite Liddell. They're another food takeaway shop that's owned by Africans. And then there's another food takeaway shop just on the corner of where Plater Road is. So, there's a few little black shops along that little thing. There's still a few black shops in Brixton, not as much as should be, and we don't control all the. We've got Pempampsey in Brixton Hill, we've got Oracle, Natural Food, Rastaman inside Brixton Village, and then we got some Senegalese brothers that sell yam, banana, plantain, all them things right inside Brixton Village. So if you come in it from Atlantic Road and you go into the indoor market, right on your right hand side there, you got some Senegalese brothers there and some African shops there still selling things. So we're still in Brixton and we must support them. And then we got a First Choice bakery that's still on Atlantic Road, and First Choice is the derivative of The Best. And so the people that own First Choice, it was their grandfather that created The Best. You know what I mean? So there's a beautiful history in Brixton, and even that had an impact on me. I used to love going to Brixton to buy music at Desmond Ip City and all them place there. It was a place to go, man. And I didn't like going Brixton shopping with my mum. I have to tell you the truth. Couldn't stand it. Never liked going Brixton shopping because it's a day out. You just mess up the whole Saturday. Because she got on them before she buy anything, she had chat to everybody. All of them meet up down there and them all chat and everything like that. And you have to stand up there with the basket. Or if she was going down there on Friday, you have to left school. Remember, some got Kingsday, West Dulwich, And me have to go home, get the basket, and be at Brixton Town Hall by 4. So yeah, you work that one out. You know what I mean? Yeah, Dennis, man. So that was a shop anyway. I said to, and that was coming from Brother T. Construction. The story of Marcus goes. No, I can't be dealing with that right now. Right, brother, where is the man shop in Brixton or Acre Lane who sells the green banana, yam and plantain? Please, forward name of shop and name of road, please, as I often come down that side to do shopping. And yes, I do want to support him. And that's 907. Well, Cliff shop is on Acre Lane. It's actually on Acre Lane. Parking is a bit difficult, but you can get parking. But it's on Acre Lane. So if you're coming from Clapham, and if you come down Clapham Park Road and then you come round and you stop at the stoplights where Bedford Road crosses over to Kings Avenue, you go across the light, and as you go across the light, Sunlight washing is on the right hand side, and then you come to Plater Road and Stratleven Road. And in between Plater Road, Stratleven Road, Solon Road and Branson Road, Bunny shop is on the left, and Cliff shop is on the right. Cliff shop, he sell all the yam, pear. Sometimes the stuff them go bad because not enough of our people them go there and buy it. But he still provides that service. You understand me? So go in there and tell him that the Prophet told you to come in there. Yeah? And he would deal with you. Yeah? He's a bit expensive, I have to admit, but he's been there for decades. So that's where that shop is, yeah? So 907, I hope that helped you. We are no greater than the plants. Our well-being depends on the well-being of the vegetable life, and that we are related to vegetables, even the four-legged beings. The earth is the only home for us. We are the generation with the responsibility and option to choose the path with a future for the next generation. We must speak of common sense, peace, togetherness, or oneness, responsibility. We are one human family sharing the planet, yet so divided, knowing nothing about compassion, honor, and love. We have strayed from the sacred way. We don't know how to connect back together, but we must get connected so as to heal the earth and heal each other. Muta Kilimanjaro. Big up yourself. What would be brave and big is to apologize to the people we have wronged with bad mind self, but that with our bad mind self, but that not gonna happen. Thanks for being honest. And that's coming from 351. I think a lot of people has done that. I wouldn't say that people have not done that. People have done that. But you are correct. People must apologize for the wrong that has been done. It's part of the repertory justice. It's part of us repairing ourselves. Because everything that we do is reparations. The healing of ourselves and the seeking of justice for our ancestors and those of us who are here and those to come. You're in tune to the temple of Know Thyself, the seat of Elder Erukui, being manned by myself, Prophet Meduti Kwaku Sakara Piyanki Imhotep Bonso. 02, you got 10 minutes now, people. Well, you got 5 minutes because I just want to wrap up the last 5 minutes. Brother Geb, you still there? Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, brother, I'm just joining you on your show, that's all.
And how is your beautiful wife?
My Empress is good. She's upstairs. I think I can hear her walking around the place, but she's fine, brother. Okay, I appreciate you asking.
We give thanks for that.
You know, that's a show, brother, that I would invite you to do, where you call the family as a whole to talk, because I stand by what I said yesterday, that me and my wife, we oftentimes see things differently.
Yeah.
And it truly is one of our major issues why we haven't moved forward as a collective of people. Mm-hmm. Because if the husband and wife are sometimes seeing things differently, because of as Dr. Abdul spoke about the colonial virus, until we fix that internally, there's little chance that we can do what we need to do externally.
Ashe. Yeah, and from that to the wider community, we're pulling in different ways. I don't think that as a community we're historically honest. I said that specifically. We're not historically honest. So, for example, those of us who are Muslims, those of us who are Christians, and those are the two main factors in our community, are not historically honest. They're not honest about how Islam came to Africa. They're not honest how Christianity came to Africa. They're not honest about how we were impregnated with these doctrines and those doctrines used to destabilize our community. So we're not historically honest. And that creates a big problem with us working together for the common good of our community. You know, nobody ain't telling them that they must drop what they believe. But I will always go back to that saying that says belief is the absence of research and knowledge. You can believe a lot of things. You can even believe that I'm a good person. You know, I'm on the radio. I know a lot of people think good of me. But I could be some little terrorist in the background. I kill off people, children, and doing all kind of nonsense. And then get catch. And then you say, boy, me never know I saw him stay. The first thing you say, me never know. You said, you don't say me never believe. You said, me never know I saw him stay or she stay. You understand me?
Yeah, I understand you, brother.
So belief is the absence of research and knowledge. If you still want to adhere to those things, that's fine. But you must be honest about how they come about. You understand? And these things were sent in our community to dumb us down, to psychologically entrap us and psychologically enslave us. And so we hold on to these things. And so as much as I love our most eminent prophet and King His Excellency Marcus Messiah Garvey, and you know his one God theory and all the rest of it, and you know what he did for our people, I didn't like the fact that he was a Christian. And I'll just be honest with it. Although I love Elijah Muhammad and what he did for our people, I didn't like the fact that he's Muslim. You understand? Because I'm a historian, I research, I study, I know what it did. I know the confusion, especially Islam, created in the central part of Africa and the eastern part of Africa. The treachery and the murders and the selling of their people and all the rest of it. It was serious. You know, it's what weakened us by the time the Arab cousins came, the Europeans, and they did the same thing. So if now United Snakes of America decided they were going to invade Africa, they're going to send people that look like Africans to invade Africa. Because they're in their armies. We're in the French army, we're in the German army, we're in the British army, we're in the United Snakes army. Do you understand? We're in their armies. And so we would have to go and attack our own home, kill our own people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we have to be... Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, we're in every army except our own.
Our own army. And where we have our own army, there's no unification, there's pure corruption and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? Overt corruption, I should say.
That's why I would invite you to do the show, brother, because, you know, let me be honest, there is not a lot of men, our men, black men, that is going to be open enough to come out and say, yes, my home life is challenging in this way or in that way, and having the conversation in love, so we can all chime in, the men and the women, and one would hope that there would be some women, some empresses out there that overstand, that can then usher some of the women that understand. Show, you know, what's going on and why this division is occurring, because women have been built to challenge us, brother. It's as simple as that. They've been built to challenge us. Yeah.
Well, I think we've been built to challenge each other.
Well, yes. I listen. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. But I'm talking specifically about, you know, I mean, I'm putting the focus on women now. If our men are challenging our women in a way that is disrespectful or that is undermining the family, I join you in what you just said. But I'm really talking when you have a man that's leading, that is doing all what is right, or trying to do all what is right, that man would do much better with a woman that overstands, because we have the children that's coming up behind us also. And so the point that I'm making is, one of the ways that this white man continues to win is because he keeps our families in a state of deconstruction.
All right, brother Gabe, it's 3 minutes to 12, and I'm preparing the show for the chief to come on. Yes.
Okay, rise up, Chief.
So we give thanks, my brother, every time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to set up Chief's music, and just want to say thank you to those who were brave enough to call in. You see, because it's good. We find a lot of words to talk about people we don't like and that type of stuff, you know. And but when it comes to rising up people who played a significant role in our community, into who we particularly are, we are very quiet. Yeah, and I leave it at that. I just can't remember that man's name, man. That name is bugging me out. Oh God. Oh man, it's, you know when the name in your head and you just can't bring it out. When the name in your head and you just can't bring it out. But he was responsible for the first African and African Caribbean elderly center, where they provided food. It was free food, and they could come and play their dominoes and drafts and them thing there, and it was a place for them to come and meet. And I can't remember his name, and I can't believe that anybody is not listening to send me in the name. If I remember it. Anyway, listen, look, it's been an honor to be with you. I've got 3 elders that I have to go and check, and I'm going to check them today. So Chief is going to come up and do show, and I'm going to be heading out to go and pay my respect to my elders. So Elder Beckford, Mama Beckford, I'm coming. Mama Hyacinth, I'm coming. And then I'm going to see my mother.
You're very busy. You're very busy today.
Very busy today. Got to go and do that, Chief.
Yes. Don't give because we have much. We give because we...
Oh, you want to say Mama Hyacinth yesterday? Yeah, sure, I'm going to go and look for her.
I didn't stay long.
Yeah, I'm just going to go and visit her and, you know, show my face. I'll give her a kiss and tell her some love her. You know what I mean? Itepe ineke J.A. Senebe. Divine peace, long life, stability. Can I take this call, Chief?
Yes.
I want to say who's this person here now. Hotep caller, you're the last caller.
Good afternoon, Hotep, my brother. My brother, Kwaku, can I ask? Did he had a funny eye, and he used to give counselling if you have any problem with the council? Or
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah.
And he had a funny eye.
Yeah. Yes.
I know who you're talking about. I know him. I've met him and dealt with him several times.
Yeah, he's passed away now, though.
Yes, he has passed away.
He's gone on to the ancestors.
Yeah, but he had a funny eye. Remember, he had a funny eye.
What's his name again, man?
Pardon? But the name's also...
I know his son, Clive.
I can't remember, brethren.
But I can't remember...
I picture the face right now.
Yeah, and I got it on the tip thing...
can't get it. It will come.
I can't remember his name, man.
I know, it's annoying. I can see his face in front of my eye, but I can't remember his name. And it's a short name as well.
No, it isn't. It's
Somebody else
I think somebody else is ringing. Let me see if this. I think this person might know who it is.
Yeah.
It's Kwame. Kwame, turn off your radio, man. Courtney Laws. That's it. Courtney Laws. Nice one, Kwame. Give thanks.
There you go.
Give thanks. There it is. Courtney Laws. That's it.
That is it.
Yes. Courtney Laws. That's it.
Kwame.
Thank you, Kwame. You helped me. You helped me with my frustration today, boy.
You have better memory than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, give tags.
Yes.
Alter, I'm gonna put it and start Chief Show now. So
Okay.
yeah, we give thanks. So you can call back in Chief Show. Yeah. All right, Alter.
Don't give because we have much.
Courtney Laws, man. Courtney Laws. That's what. And they destroyed him. Yeah, they destroyed him. It went for him, boy. Courtney Laws.
Yeah. The reason I shouldn't forget his name.
Errol Laws. Clive Laws. Yeah.
When we first was going to try and get the radio station, we put him down to be part of the managerial workshop.
Scene.
I shouldn't forget his name.
Yeah, Courtney Laws. That's it. Yeah. He was responsible for the first African Caribbean Centre.
Yes.
In South London.
Yes.
Was in Brixton, Rayton Road.
Yeah,
you understand me? So just like Dr. Abu was talking about the one that they're looking to take way up in Lewisham there.
Yes.
You understand me? This is what they do to us, and they social engineer who they want in that place.
We had a community centre right around there on Goldsmith that the council have taken away, and that was passed on to the African community. Right on Goldsmith, they turned it into flat now.
Yeah, but this is what they do.
Because the African community was not strong enough to stand up and said, no, it cannot be done.
Yeah.
Because what the council realised that we haven't got this body of people around.
Yes.
They said no. And the council took it. And it should not have been turned. Just like, it's like them change up Rasta House down by...
Kennington. Yeah.
See when them take with this one from the African community in Peckham.
People, we got works to do. Dennis, I'm coming to look for you tomorrow. Know that.
We
Your
give
time,
because we know what it's like not to have. Our family, the Nubian family.
Chief, I do him dance now.
Our family.
Alter people, I'll be black here on Thursday. I will have Sir Lloyd in the house. We're going to talk about the history of reggae music in Britain and how we lost the industry, how it was vibrant, how we were working for it. And I'm hoping to have Mandingo. Somebody said I'm going to get Mandingo number for me. If he's still up in his feelings, the film business, he doesn't have to like me, just need to come and give the information that's in his head to the people. Otep. Thursday, 9 p.m. GMT time, we will be breaking it down. Itepe, Ineke, J.R. Senebe. I'm out of it. Otep.